United Kingdom, abstain. The United States, yes. Yemen, no.
The resolution of the DUC Committee for Palestine was adopted by 33 votes, 13 against, 10 abstentions.
He was the only sad person in the midst of us, because the streets were full with happy people dancing and chanting and extremely happy. And he stood as a sad person, and he says, now they are dancing, tomorrow they will be fighting. Now we are singing, tomorrow we shall see the blood. He didn't have the slightest illusion about what's going to happen immediately in the wake of the declaration.
In 1947, the threat of all-out war loomed in Palestine. With limited experience commanding large units, flying fighter planes, or sailing battleships, the Jewish underground fighters were at a disadvantage against the invading Arab armies. Prevented by the British authorities from legally manufacturing or buying ammunition or building the infrastructure for a modern army, the temporary Jewish government in Palestine turned to the diaspora for help. Jews around the world answered the call and volunteered, putting their lives on hold, leaving behind home, family, and jobs to help their brothers in need.
It was not just an adventure. I wasn't a soldier of fortune.
We were never never politically involved in this kind of Zionism or that kind of Zionism. And that didn't matter to us much. We just loved Israel.
Part of my motivation in becoming a Zionist, part of it was a sense of having a refuge where Jews could come if they wanted to and if they had to.
And Israel needed people who had war experience. Israel needed war supplies. Israel had literally nothing.
My mother, bless her, gave me a kiss and wished me good luck. I said, you're doing the right thing, son. A kiss and out the door. Yeah.
At the end of the war, I was admitted to the Harvard Law School. We began to learn about the concentration camps, what really went on, and about the Jews trying to get out of Europe, to get into Palestine. And I, by sheer chance, grew up in the United States, nurtured, school, place to eat and sleep all the time, secure. And there was an imbalance here, a real imbalance. I had the good life and they had horror. It was an imbalance that had to be righted. I mean, we couldn't just sit in law school while this was going on. This was history being made. We didn't go back to our second year in law school, just didn't go back. They flew us down to Miami, the Palmach guys from New York, where they took us dockside, and there was this hulk. It was a boat that didn't inspire confidence. We prepared our ship, which carried 20 officers and men. We prepared this ship so that it could accept and safely carry 1,500 people. We took the ship to the coast of Italy to pick up our mapilim, and then I remember the mapilim coming from the shore. When you see human beings who have individual characteristics, they're not just concepts, they're real people, and there are the numbers, and they're Jews. They're like me, we're fellow Jews, and what they've been through. It was a profound experience.
There was a call out in South Africa by word of mouth to volunteer to come over and help the new state, because all the big Arab countries around us were just pouring in to destroy this tiny little fledgling state that had come about after 2,000 years. The Haganah people came to meet us, and they said, you're going to take a boat with the new immigrants and you're going to sail across by boat. We got near to Haifa, and it was evening, and the boat was nearing the shores of Eretz Israel, and we saw the lights of Mahar Carmel coming on. And somebody, one of the people down below, started to sing Hatikva. And all of us stood on the deck as the boat approached Haifa, and we were all singing Hatikva. And then one of our boys said the prayer, Shechianu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. And all together we said Amen as the boat moved into Haifa. And there were tears in all our eyes. And we got off the boat. Everything was dark. And they interviewed me. And I told them about myself. And they said, of course you can be a nurse. We don't have nurses. You can be a nurse if you know something, even if you're willing. And they gave me instructions, and this lady, one of the Chayalot, came and said, come on, I'll take you to where you have to go. She took me to the quarters where I would sleep that night. And she took my hand, and then she put her arm around me. And she said, don't be afraid. It's dark because of air raids. But you'll be taken care of, and you'll do something special for Eretz Israel. And I never saw this lady again, but she really gave me the courage.
I arrived in Israel, spring of 48, before the state of Israel was created. So we had a little ship with potatoes. And under the potatoes, we had Spanish Hispano 20-millimeter guns, new guns with grease. New stuff, new, alte Shich, alte Sachen. Finally got new stuff. But the point was, what are you going to do with the potatoes? They get rotten. And we got the guns, and then they sent me to Palmach the same day. As we moved south, we got involved with the Battle of Fallujah. We had a certain amount of chutzpah that we should not have had. And when I saw the plans, I knew it was very chancy. We had 400 fighters. The Egyptian brigade consisted of almost 3,000 men. And it was raining all the time. And the troops were tired. And then we were ordered to attack. Pluga broke into the town, the village. Pluga bet. I heard my cousin saying that the Kval Kmat Beyadenu. He already had prisoners. Suddenly I got an order to go all the way around to Bet Jibrin because the situation was deteriorating. And it did. By the time I got there, on the other end, the battle is over. Puga Bet, my cousin, got wounded again, and my second in command that I sent was killed. Otherwise, he had another one or two other wounded or killed, I don't know. And Pruga Gimed, the religious company, got the brunt, and only 14 escaped. I never realized that there was no soldiers between us and Bet Romano, Tel Aviv. That was headquarters. There was nobody, because the rest of them were fighting in El Arish and all the other places. We stretched ourselves thin to the point. So I was basically the only koach left. The war was a difficult war.
I was a chemistry major. Israel had some guns, but they had no munitions. And they wanted to be able to manufacture bullets. So our mission was to develop a bullet from the material available to the Jews in Israel and to be able to get them back to them on time. At one point, there was an alarm, and we all scrambled, took all our papers and chemicals, put them away, and a whole set of other papers and chemicals. I looked about this whole thing, very strange. Turns out the FBI was coming. So they came, and they left. And of course they winked, They knew what it was all about, and we knew what it was all about. We weren't going to say anything. As soon as they left, everything went reverse. The stuff we're working on came out. Did we succeed? I think we did at the end. And the got the formula, and they were able to manufacture the bullets for the Davidka.
We had to take a hill. How do we take a hill which is full of Egyptian infantry, backed by artillery? At 4:30 one morning, a surprise attack. We were halfway up the hill before they knew what was coming, and we took it. I think it was a bloody miracle. We took it. The next day, they sent up 4 guys with 2 Bezers. They were the big machine guns with bullets this big, you know, that could pierce armor. And the Bezers got to work on the road and stopped the tanks and stopped the armor from coming through. They were just stuck there. And of course, they sent troops up every day, and they dive bombed us with Spitfires, which I got crazed about. Spitfires were defending us in London. That feeling of a homeland at last when nobody could kick you out. It was yours, and it was a marvelous feeling.
And by virtue of our natural and historic right, and on the strength of the resolution of the United Nations General Assembly, hereby declare the establishment of a Jewish state in Eretz Yisrael to be known as the State of Israel.
Every breakfast, we were told that we are saving food, we are eating less amounts of food in order to gather some food for Jerusalem, which was
The first act of the newly established state was to abolish all restrictions on immigration. Between 1948 and 1951, over 700,000 Jewish immigrants streamed to the State of Israel, doubling its population.
רחם בחסדך, העולם חצורנו.
In favour of the resolution, 37. Against, 12. Abstentions, 9. That satisfies the requirement of the Charter of a 2/3 majority, and I therefore formally declare Israel admitted to membership in the United Nations.
The Palestine National Council was set up as a sort of parliament in exile, with members of Arafat's Fatah among its founding delegates. The council issued the Palestine National Covenant, denying Israel's right to exist and any Jewish claims of historic, national, or religious ties to Palestine. Demanding the creation of an Arab state in Israel's place, it also proclaimed that armed struggle is the only way to liberate Palestine.
To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. Ladies and gentlemen, the time for peace has come.
We are 2.5 million Jews, and every one of us feel personally responsible for the survival of the state. And we all know that the enemy we face is committed to our annihilation.